So this is the last color for this set review, and it's green, and we're starting with commons like with every other color. And number 5 we have bear with upside, I guess. I mean, Bitterblade Warrior. 1 and a green for 2/2 is the original bear casting cost and stats. And you could exert this and give it +1/+0 and Death Touch. And Death Touch is good.
Death Touch is good, but it's still not on the offense. It's not as good. It's better on the defense
to have Death Touch.
Yeah.
Nah, but Death Touch creatures also attack very good.
Yeah, but you can't untap this.
But you draw a parallel to the Dund Operative, which was a really good attacker actually.
Yeah.
But that was more often a 3/2.
Yes,
than this guy will be, because this will be...
And that could also just block and kill something.
Yeah, it obviously would be better if this could have Death Touch on the defense too. Mm-hmm. I agree. But it's not bad.
It is what it is.
Number 4.
Number 4 we have Pouncing Cheetah. 2 and a green, 3/2 Flash.
Yeah, I like Flash.
Flash is actually pretty good, and... this
you can flash it in and make a double block that is profitable for you. Mm-hmm. You could just flash it in, you're holding up a removal spell.
If you could be black green or blue green, have a counter spell up. I don't know.
Blue green could have a lot of like both tap effects and be a little more tricky.
Flash
and then Flash is nice just to have as I flashed this in, you didn't do anything.
Exactly, I like Flash.
Number 3 we have Quarry Hauler, which is a guy we have talked a bit about earlier, because this is a 4-drop, which is a 4/3, which is good already. Mm-hmm. And for each counter on target permanent, put another counter on that of that kind or remove.
Yeah.
So either you have -1/-1 counters on your opponent's stuff, and you may be able to put on more, or you have it on your guys, which you could have in green-black, for example,
and remove it,
and you remove them. Or if you have a +1/+1 counter somehow on your guy, you can add another.
Yeah, so it's versatile, and I like that.
And even if it doesn't have a target, it's still a good card.
Mm-hmm. And the number 2 we have Naga Vitalist. So it's 2 mana for a 1/2, and you can tap it to add mana that for the lands you control.
Yeah, so if you're black-green, you can add black or green.
It's basically a ramp guy. I mean,
and in the last set,
colors,
since that was so aggro and there wasn't a lot of mana sinks and late game stuff, that card went down a bit.
Druid of the
Cowl,
yeah.
But here we have already seen a lot of payoff. We have seen a lot of embalm that are heavy costed. There are mana sinks. There are. This is a slower format as well.
It should be a slower format, and there are cycles of...
Green has good 7 drops and 6 drops, and...
And the trials and cartouches, you can pick them up, play them again, and do it again. I mean...
And if you want to do a trial and a cartouche in the same turn, you could easily use up 7 mana.
The mana dude is going to be good in this format, we think.
And better than in the last.
Yeah.
And number 1, we have green's only removal spell. We had to put it there.
Yeah.
Cottage of Strength. I mean, 3 mana for a fight spell that +1/+1 trample and fight.
Mm-hmm.
So similar, if you have compared it to Savage Punch, you have 2 mana, sorcery +2/+2.
No, +1/+1.
No, that was +2/+2. Savage Punch. You just needed Ferocious. But this is closer maybe to Hunter Week.
Yeah,
because that put a counter and fight for 4. Mm-hmm. This leaves a permanent aura and fight for 3. Mm-hmm. And it also adds trample to the mix. So I like the card.
Me too.
And again, this is a part of the cycle that triggers the trials.
Yes.
So if you have a green trial, you can make a 4/2 and make 4/2 again. And
it's just good.
So
moving on to the uncommons.
Yep.
So number 3 on the list, we have a big Crocodile, 4 green, so 6 mana for a 6/7 hexproof.
Yeah, we put it in because late we saw, it has hexproof.
Yeah, hexproof is annoying.
And the green isn't like in Kaladesh where on every part of the curve you had a pushed, like a 3-mana 3/3 and a 4-mana 4/4. Here there is a 5-mana 5/5, for example.
Yeah.
But green isn't as pushed
No, it's
now.
not.
So having some big beefy guys on top that actually doesn't die to the first removal spell the opponent pulls from the top is pretty great.
And with all of the enchantment cartouches, having a hexproof creature, that's actually
Make this
pretty relevant.
+1/+1 trample and fight.
Yeah.
And then they cannot interact with it at all.
No.
And they cannot target it. They have to like stack up a triple block or something. And in that there is in green a lot of pump spells as well.
Yep.
Or you can time a removal spell if you're green-red. You can just burn something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the behemoth will be good. I think so.
Yeah.
So number 2 we have Crocodile of the Crossing, which looks a bit like Emperor Crocodile. Which was a 4-mana 5/5 rare, I think, from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 4-mana 4/3.
No,
It will be with haste, but because it will either enter itself with a -1/-1 counter or put it somewhere else. It will be good to remove that counter from it if you can, or if you can. Put this on something where you don't care that much. Maybe have a mana guy out that you're only using for mana.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's pretty aggressive. It seems like maybe red-green combined could be a beatdown deck with creatures, for example.
And for the last card, number 1 in green, we have Exemplar of Strength, or as we call it, Land of Calrissian.
Or Bear with Upside.
So 1 and a green for a 2/2. For a 1/1, I mean. Because when it enters the battlefield, you put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control, which will often be
if you
this
play
creature.
this on curve, this will be a 2-mana 1/1 at first. But
At first.
it attacks as a 2/2. If it survives, it acts as a 3/3. And it will just moves up as a 4/4.
Yeah.
And if you can get a 2-mana 4/4, it's pretty good.
And say this is a 4/4, and you have cards like Crocodile of the Crossings and stuff. You can put the -1/-1 counters on this.
Yeah,
Because
if you
it
get
will
this,
remove
yeah,
them.
if you can have this surviving,
Mhm.
and you can make it shoulder the burden of some other guy.
Yeah.
It
looks good.
Yeah, and some of the green uncommons that we have seen could be better if you're actually in the black-green -1/-1 deck.
Mm-hmm.
And similar to that some cards was better in the zombie deck, some cards was better in the cycling deck, and
Yep.
that's called synergy.
It's called Synergy.
And we will dive more down to that later when we move on to the archetypes.
Yep.
Was this all?
This was all. So
5 colors, uncommons and commons, should be all set for the pre-release
next weekend, I think.
next weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, 22nd.
Okay, so thank you for watching.
And stay tuned for both the archetype discussion and actually pretty soon, because this time around it will be draftable
The day
after the pre-release,
Mhm.
I think,
Yep.
which is new.
That's
you had to
awesome.
wait for a week or even more.
I don't know if it will be draftable, but maybe they will put up
the
pre-release.
pre-release drafts.
Okay, so it's gonna be a draft. Cool.
So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Please comment if you think we have forgot something, or if you're having questions about the cards or whatever. It's always fun to hear if it's discussing Magic. And leave a like if you like the content.
Yeah.
So see you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.